So I'm Nicky Pybus, and I'm the part-time Pioneer Minister for Cosham and Wimmering, which is in the Diocese of Portsmouth. I've just been appointed as the new full-time Pioneer for the Bourneville Estate in Weston-super-Mare. So church-free is a little bit of a play on words, but actually it's about choosing not to go along to church on a regular basis in terms of attending a church service, whether that's formal, informal, whether that's on a Sunday or not on a Sunday. So I, as a Christian, live my faith in a different way by not attending church in that sense. I know from conversations I've had as a pioneer with local people that there are a lot of people who believe in God, want to follow Jesus, would consider themselves a Christian or certainly on that journey, and yet just can't engage with church for a variety of reasons. I also connect with people online because I now, for the last year, have been writing a blog, and that has led to conversations online with different people that feel very much the same. And it's often the reasons are different, but actually we kind of feel the same in terms of not feeling like church connects with where we're at, and also how we connect with God. That church doesn't answer that question for us. For me, the reason I don't engage with church, there's a whole variety of reasons actually, but it wasn't a particular thing that happened that put me off church or a bad experience or anything like that. It was a gradual sense of disconnect, of not feeling like my kind of that lack of that soul kind of, I don't know how to word it, but that something deeper in terms of worshipping God, that I, in any kind of church service, didn't matter what kind of denomination or what kind of style of service or how good the coffee was or any of those things, actually feeling like it's not scratching where I itch, feeling like a round peg in a square hole, feeling like I just don't really belong here. And that sense just came gradually. Nothing, like I said, it wasn't a tangible thing that happened, but in my early 20s, when I came back from uni, I just struggled to find a church that really felt like it was me. And I feel in my walk as a Christian that the way that I connect with God is out in nature. Very much, that's where I feel closest to God. That's where I feel I worship God, I pray, all of that stuff. And also that sense of community is achieved in a different way. So we meet up with friends that are Christian that struggle with church. I link with people online, like I say. It's very much informal, ad hoc. It's not a set pattern or a set routine that we follow, but we do church in a very different way. For those that feel like me in terms of struggling with church and wanting to know how they might go about doing it in a different way, I think it's a very individual thing. It's different for each person. There's no set way of doing it. I don't know if there are forums online. There probably are, where people meet. Certainly, like I say, the blog that I've written has helped me to get in touch with lots of different people that feel this way, but also just conversations with people that I've met through my role as a pioneer, and also just in my personal life, friends, family, and things like that, that actually people do it in a variety of different ways. So it is a bit messy and it is invisible, which is quite a hard thing then to quantify, to measure, to get a sense of who's out there and what are people doing in terms of their Christian faith, and yet we know that it's happening. So there's sorts of things that I do in terms of living without attending church on a regular basis as a Christian. All sorts. We listen to podcasts, and not just Christian ones, but secular ones about what it means to be human, about different spirituality, all sorts, to really provoke questions and think. We watch documentaries and films that again inspire and provoke questions. Go for walks with our friends, go to festivals. Greenbelt I love. What else do we do? Read books, again, not just Christian books, all sorts of books that talk about that sense of what it means, not just what it means to be human, but what it means to be a spiritual being. I like the Celtic spirituality side of things, so that the links nature and God and the whole of life as a sort of sacred spiritual space, that God is in everything and everyone. So I've been reading lots of books around that recently. I can't think of anything else, but just all sorts of stuff really. We tend to just live life, and then we just sort of see God in the everyday. So it's not that we sort of think, well, I'm going to do this and this. It's organic, it happens. I would say church-free Christianity relates to mission in a sense of it's doing something new, it's growing something organically, And actually it's being led by the people out there rather than the people in the church. I'm really excited about it because, as you say, the numbers are actually quite high in this country of people that feel the same way. So actually God is working, and perhaps it's unseen and it's invisible, but actually it's happening. So mission is happening, but perhaps not as we would expect it to be. I mean, the church free phrase is a bit provocative in itself, and it's a bit of a shorthand, because I would say that the way that I live as a Christian, in terms of not attending regular church services, but I still do church every day of my life. It's just that it doesn't look like church, and it doesn't fit the nice neat box that church should fit. So it's not really church free, but that's a shorthand, because otherwise I don't know what on earth you would call it. I go for occasions when, obviously with my friends, if someone's getting married, or there are occasions where through the year, and there are odd occasions, a few, where I do think, actually, I really like to go into church and just spend some time just sitting, maybe not during a service, but just to sit in the peace and the atmosphere of a church. So I do connect with church sometimes.